You're listening to Weird and Dead, the paleontology podcast that tells evolution's most embarrassing and bizarre stories. I'm Megan Wetherell.
And I'm Amy Atwater, and we are two living scientists who are weirdly excited about dead things. On this episode, we talk about Europe's extensive problem with fossilizing frogs mid-fuck. Seriously, this has happened a shocking number of times.
But perhaps more funny and bizarre is the fact that so many of them also blew up. They bloated and floated and exploded. It's nuts.
Guess there's a reason they're called explosive breeders.
Like always, our podcast covers some disgusting and unsettling things, so please check the content warnings in the description before proceeding. We're going to talk about fossil fucking frogs, or fucking fossil frogs, or fossil frogs,
fucking,
comma, fucking. And it is very much a plural, so much more than I could have ever fucking imagined. Not just a plural in how there are multiple frogs, a plural in how there are multiple spots with multiple frogs. So off the top of your head, looking at one paper in particular, and it's really focusing on one spot, but it's also talking about several others. How many spots and how many frogs total do you think there are?
Okay, so I'm just going to start with being like, in my head, I already was like, so I would be like Green River Formation. How many fucking frogs do I think are in that? And then what other type? I mean, frogs are frogs, so they've been around a long ass time. So that leaves us all the Lagerstadts. So I'm going to go with one main site that's referring to 6 others.
Yeah, so we've got, and this is just in Europe. So they didn't talk about the Green River Formation. I don't know how many frogs fucking or otherwise are there. But we've got Lake Libros in Spain, which is Miocene, which has 73 frogs and at least 79 tadpoles. We've got Lake Enspel, which is a Oligocene in Germany. I don't really know why it was mentioned because it only has 9 frogs.
Yeah,
doesn't seem that exciting.
Jeez.
Let's go with Beklejovec, a Oligocene from the Czech Republic. That had 1,000 frogs.
Wow.
Remarkably, that's not the paper I'm talking about here, but it has a lot of frogs. Lake Messel had quite a few frogs. It's got 250 adults and a few tadpoles.
Cute. Love it.
And then the site that we're primarily talking about today is, I'm going to go with Geiseltal in Germany, an Eocene site. And I will admit, and it has 150 or so frogs.
Okay.
I was a little confused at first as to whether or not maybe Lake Messel just had a different name. Because I was like, okay, how many Eocene lacustrine Lagerstadts can there be in Germany? Turns out at least 2, because they are not the same spot.
It's like also just like not even that big of a country. I'm like that just good for you, Germany. Good for you.
Yeah. And while they do have some overlap in time, it's not actually that extensive. They kind of only overlap towards the end of Lake Geiseltal, I think. So, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of frogs.
Wow.
And I only read a paper that was really about Geiseltal and Libros. So, but the implication definitely seemed to be that all of these frogs died while fucking, sort of.
Wait, all of them? Like the thousands, the 150. This is a mass fucking die-off.
By and large, these are mass mortality events.
Oh, gross.
And we will get to why they think that.
I mean, do it for the story, Megan.
It's not as clear.
Okay. They don't make it quite as obvious. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Right. I mean, frogs in general, you would think they're just like, they're like soft-boned, pathetic little things.
They are soft-boned, pathetic little things.
No, they're lovely and great, but I wouldn't expect them. But then they are in the environments already that are a little bit more prone to fossilization. So I guess that's like a point up for them.
Yes. So I thought actually we should probably talk about some basic frog facts.
Thank you.
Because a lot of their argument does hinge on some basic frog facts that,
excellent. Frog me.
So first off, not all frogs are lake frogs. you've encountered toads.
Yes.
And I'm sure
toad.
you've encountered tree frogs.
Yes.
A tree frog, not a lake frog.
Right.
Lots of frogs don't always live in lakes.
Sure.
Right? Lots of frogs are primarily terrestrial. Terrestrial.
It's like one of us.
However, the fun thing about frogs, Amy, is that for frogs, the sex lake hypothesis is often true. It's not true for sauropod dinosaurs, but it turns out lots of frogs do need to lay their eggs in water because they are not amniotic eggs.
Right.
They are jelly eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And not all of them lay them directly in water. There are lots of frogs that do other weird shit like poison dart frogs, which lay their eggs in like wet moss. And then also some of them carry their tadpoles on their back like a little backpack.
Yeah, I don't like those.
So,
I don't like those pictures.
They're a little unsettling. You know, I know everybody thinks that their own baby is cute, but I think frogs are wrong. So
no. Shut it down.
A lot of frogs do go back to lakes periodically to mate and to lay their eggs. They're not like salmon. They don't go back specifically once and die. They do actually specifically go back to the same lake. A lot of them will go back to the same one.
Then
but
how
they
do
don't,
they not fuck
they're not
their
one
siblings?
And done.
Do they care about that? Is that something they avoid? Do you know?
I don't think they eat their fucking siblings as tadpoles. I don't see how they could care about fucking them as well. I don't think that there's any sort of sibling recognition in frogs.
Okay,
But the thing about most species of frogs is that they are also external fertilizers. So the female is laying the eggs in the pond while the male is hugging onto her in an act known as amplexus.
Amplexus.
He's amplected.
He's amplected. Wow.
I don't know why it has a specific name. It's not always backpacking. Sometimes it's like front to front, but usually it's backpacking.
Leapfrog? Is it called leapfrogging, Megan?
Leapfrog. I mean, it's unsuccessful leapfrogging. It's
halfway.
Exactly what you don't want to have happen with a leapfrog.
Leapfrogging.
Yeah, half-assed leapfrog. Yeah, so, and they're just jizzing. And an important thing to also note is because you've got certain species of frogs when they, especially I think ones that are like, I live on land, but I guess I'll go back to a lake to get my fuck on. Those ones have a tendency to be explosive breeders, meaning orgy time fuck fest, everybody lay your eggs all at once. Let's fill this pond with babies.
Wow. Which
does mean actually that even if you were capable of choosing which partner wasn't your brother.
Ew, gross.
You actually are, it turns out that most of those frog eggs don't have just one parent. they get cross-fertilized
just clouds
from
of cum.
Free-floating sperm.
So this is like why,
cum
ladies,
clouds, yes.
Careful in hot tubs.
Yeah. This is why I don't go into hot springs.
Oh, God, gross.
You know how I feel about hot springs?
No, you don't
and
ruin
I feel like
them
this
for
is
me.
Only supportive of that.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
gross.
I haven't gotten pregnant that way yet. So
yet. Early days. All right. So frogs,
they'd be fucking.
Species in particular, they kind of do be fucking.
But no penetration
There's kind of
needed.
a variety depending on the frog fossil location. So Libros looks like it's all one species of frog, all just the one. And that one has like slightly thicker skin, I guess. So probably terrestrial. Geiseltal has a mix, but it also has, I guess, the vast majority of them appear to also be not constant lake frogs. So by not being frogs that live in the lake.
Okay, so the presence of being in the lake is one of the signs that they be fucking.
Yes. It's also, so it's one of the signs that they be fucking. It's also one of the signs that it's probably not certain like freak events like starvation, because they tend to do this in the spring when things are plentiful. It's probably not like freezing, because they don't live in the lake, so during the time when it's freezing they're not there, and B, the time when they do go to the lake is when it's hot
times,
fuck frenzy times,
and not trying to like die, crawl into your forever grave.
They don't want little ice cubes of cum. They want liquid.
Yeah, ice cubes and frogs don't usually go together anyway. Yeah.
So like right off the bat, because most of these are land frogs, not constant lake frogs, there's some kind of broader hypotheses that are excluded from these mass mortality events. So the 2 papers that I read, all of the public stuff about them is all, oh, fossils die in a sex trap. Fossils die in a fucking frenzy. Fossils die in an orgy. And yet the titles of these papers are all, the skeletal taphonomy of Anurians from, they're all very, very profesh and dry.
Unlike those frogs.
They
could learn a few things from their study.
Which, by the way, that is one of the hypotheses that you can discard, is it's probably not that the lakes were drying up, because that's the wrong time of year. These are terrestrial frogs. If the lake was drying up, they can leave. So
unlike those worthless dinosaurs.
It did feel a lot of their exclusion things for hypotheses was like, they can leave, they can get out, they can go bye-bye.
Okay, we have all dealt with people who are perfectly capable of doing something but still won't fucking do it. So, I mean, are the frogs that much more?
Frogs. Yeah. Suicidal frogs.
Well, no one else is getting out. Exactly. So probably not lakes that were drying up. Yeah, so they both are taphonomy studies, both to look at this, and they really bury the whole, we think that they were mating lead, like, pretty deep in there, because I think it's actually not really their primary thing that they're looking at. They're really looking at, like, they
taphonomy.
Don't care. They want to know what happened to the bones.
They want to know what happened to the bones.
In what weird pheromones led to that.
Yes, and they do use it to be like, okay, yeah, so we do think they were all fucking. But they're more intrigued by the states of disarticulation and stuff of these fossil frogs. Go ahead and scroll on down to our first graphic.
Wow.
So they're
I first thought this was like a tribal tattoo.
It does. It does look like a tribal tattoo.
It's like, this is sick, girl.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's
like, while I was reading these papers, I found they have a lot of really funny illustrations that, like, when you take them out of context, are just bizarre.
Yeah, this entire image is
it's
really
bizarre,
weird.
but it's also kind of fun and cool looking. And, like, when you do read them in context, this one in particular was actually pretty good at explaining what it was doing. Why don't you go ahead and explain what you can see here, and then I'll tell you what this is supposed to be.
I told you guys, it looks so good. There are 2 rows that we have here. The top row has frog skeletons in different percentage completion. Like the first A is a complete frog, full skeleton.
Percentage completion.
Well,
this one's so close to coming.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. Wow. Wow. Now I'm distracted.
Yeah, sorry. Percentage completion as in presence of their bones.
The presence of their bones, not how close they are to ejaculation. I don't know. I wasn't there. Anyway, so it just kind of shows these different modes, maybe, of preservation with different, like, parts of the bodies present. And so the parts that are missing, they've just shown in these zigzag lines that give it a very tribal effect when it's like just the upper part of a frog with then some zigzags around it.
It looks like cool. It's being attacked with lightning bolts, kind of.
Yeah, or like a video game, like yeah, I don't
Tetris.
Know. Yeah, very Tetris-y with frog body parts. Oh, like Frogger. I played that game a lot. It's one of the few video. Anyway, and then the hand bones are on the bottom row, and they just show different bones of the hand are in focus in the 3 panels, and then they have this kind of like Aztec ruin thing line on top to try and show the distribution maybe of the different bones, but it just looks like they have Aztec ruins drawn across these hand bones. So again, very tribal.
Yeah. I was going to explain what this is, but that honestly is, other than keep calling it tribal and lightning bolts, that is what this is, right? It's a way of describing the different stages of disarticulation and how they were measuring them. It does make it appear that the frogs can never at any point lose their hands before they lose their back legs. And I don't know that was strictly speaking true, but it's a way of describing disarticulation stages and taphonomy stages, right?
It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And
it's
weird.
Super weird.
Yeah.
So they're going through, they're describing the taphonomy, and in the German site that I'm going to stop trying to pronounce because I know I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, the German site that's not Messel, they found, first off, they think it was a sinkhole, I guess, is basically what they were finding. It was like Messel, which is why I was looking it up. It was a mine prior to being discovered as fossils.
Right, sure.
So that was confusing. I guess Germany was just a giant fucking swamp. But this one wasn't a volcanic maar. So there's no volcanic CO2 kind of combination thing here, or at least not that this paper is discussing. But they are found in lignite primarily, which is like early stages of coal. Do you remember doing coal ball peels?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you should tell everybody what those are.
All right, let me do my best, Australia. No, I know, dude, but I can't. I mean, I like knew you were. I don't know where my coal peels are. No, I know I peeled quite a few coal balls. Yeah, but you can take these fossils that are like super concentrated coal. That's what it is. Vegetation, and you cut them. And so you have like a flat, kind of polished surface, and then you put like some sort of plastic
cellulose
or something.
Nitrate, I think, is what
something like that.
Yeah,
and you let that like cure on the top, and then you can peel it off, and you can take like a very fine layer of the coal fossil, like a good representation of what was on that surface that was exposed, and then you can like analyze the different plants and shit in there based on that. And we had to do it in paleobotany class.
Yeah. So essentially coal and lignite, they can preserve things super, super nicely, but they really compact them quite heavily. Yeah. So it's not like you find a frog and you dig it out of the dirt. It's like you find a frog and then you have to somehow peel the frog off, like taking a sticky tape and putting it on a frog body and trying to peel it off from the surface. So I guess that at this German site, they were doing that primarily in, they mentioned the 30s, the 50s, and the 70s. And then now it's like the site is flooded, so they can't go collect anymore. And they think that they were doing something similar to a coal ball peel, where they were putting some sort of substance off and hoping to peel off a frog. And I guess they said that it didn't always work, and that method caused them to lose hundreds of frogs.
What?
Which made me feel so much better for anything I've ever done wrong in fossil preparation. I'm like, well, I didn't just fuck up a whole frog by peeling it wrong, so.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Ugh, peeled my frog. Yeah, but that kind of does track with their delicate little skeletons and stuff, that may be that method. But unless done perfectly,
yes,
you would just...
Well, and I guess it sounds like you maybe can't always see the frog super well.
Right.
Because it's like a mass of stuff and maybe there's a frog in there.
How would you even have it cut at the right spot to even know that you have frog? And in like an orientation that you can even identify it in.
Yeah.
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 That seems hard.
It seems very really hard. And it's also part of why, I guess in this study, they excluded any fossil where it had just lost the skull, because they could almost always guarantee that was an improper peel. Yeah, so they had to kind of like balance the fact that there's taphonomy, there's stuff that happened after the animal died, and then there's oopsies, I peeled it wrong.
There's the human component.
There's the human component, yeah.
Which is why I am so hesitant on so many things.
Yes.
So, because humans are humans.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I kind of just thought that was interesting. Is that they were
That's weird.
Peeling these frogs off. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I mean, it doesn't help it not look like a temporary tattoo. You're peeling it off.
So, yeah, they're peeling off these kind of flattened frogs. And so once they kind of controlled at this German site which ones were probably user error, what they found is that there were a lot of them that were fully articulated, but there were also quite a lot that were not, and that were articulated in specific, like had lost things in specific patterns that suggested that they had bloated and floated and kind of moved around.
Oh my gosh, this is like a combination. Is this an early Christmas present? These are a few of my favorite things when the frogs bloat.
And then they disarticulate, especially at the tips. Yeah. So that was also used as evidence that, like, well, it's probably not storms coming in and like shoving frogs into the dirt or whatever, because these things were bloating and floating, or at least quite a few of them were. They're losing their little limmy bits. So there is some stuff that happens to the frog after it dies before it is buried. So being buried alive wasn't the thing that killed the frog.
A rapid burial is out.
Yes, not for all of them. They did point out that, like, you know, because these are multiple layers, there are some layers where you have a whole bunch of frogs, and those ones are the ones more likely to be mostly mating related. But there's also whole layers where you only find like one or two, you know? So like there's some multiple processes going on. Go ahead and scroll down to the next image, and you can describe what you see there.
Want more weird and dead content and you don't want to wait? Head on over to our Patreon for exclusive content, early ad-free episodes, and so much more. For only $5 a month, you too can hear our outtakes, exclusive episodes, and the stuff we cut for time, and also just because it was, too much.
In addition to supporting the podcast, our Patreon money also is going now to research. So if you're excited about maybe some of the science that we're doing, you might also want to head over to Patreon.
It's definitely a fossil frog.
Mm-hmm.
We have two panels.
Mm-hmm.
G is like the entire body. You can see the outline of the soft tissue and all the bones. The other one, H, is more fragmentary, and it just looks like it's got some peg legs and loosed his arms. So it's like, I'm an old frog.
Yeah.
It's not as complete, but you can still tell it's a frog.
And you can see that there's a couple like pieces kind of floating off from the main body.
Yeah, like it. I was like, it's like jizz is like next to it.
Now these ones are in like a siltstone, sandstone, claystone, because these are the ones that are from Libros, which is a longer term lake. It's not lignite. These are not coal peel frogs.
Oh,
but
right.
The coal peel frogs didn't have pictures of this. So the one on the left, where you have a nice, beautiful, complete frog and you have all of its bones, that's a beautiful, complete frog with all of its bones. The one on the right is one of the few examples from Libros of this thing, this taphonomic effect, that they found 26% of the frogs the German site had, which is the bones that are missing, that are spread out around it, are in its stomach. And what they think happened is that it blew up. That it had so much gas built up in its dead little body that it blew up, and that the bones near the abdomen were more likely to be dispersed, because they have found that, especially in the place in Germany, they had a lot of these frogs that had like everything except for like their low, like they blew their own backs out. Not only did
like they have no ribs,
they blew their own backs out.
Oh my God. Wait, do they all die after they mate? They don't always.
We're going to get there.
They just happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So then this one though is, okay. So, oh my God, that's disgusting. Do we see this happen with modern frogs? That's my main question.
I don't think so. It's a post.
Why aren't modern frogs blowing up?
Maybe they are. I didn't
Shrek.
see them explicitly cite an example of a frog blowing up, but I'm sure that they do.
We could test this.
Yeah, they were just using it as like a,
I'm
okay,
so sorry. I don't condone
this
frog
stage
violence.
is really weird. We think probably this is bloating, but not floating, bloating and exploding.
Bloating and exploding. I mean, thank you for your service. Appreciate you doing that in the fossil.
And the fact that this
but I can
wasn't
understand that. Yeah.
picked up by the vast majority of these scientific outreach things, like
Megan,
this should have been
orgies.
The news. No,
orgies
fuck
are
the
hot.
orgies. The orgies are not as funny as exploding dead frog.
Bloating. No one wants to hear about an orgy that ends in bloating and exploding. Like that is not. That's not.
Isn't that kind of? I mean, to a certain extent.
Ew. Oh my gosh. All these frogs around me. Won't stop bloating and exploding. Oh, my hair.
Okay.
Gross. Okay.
Yeah, so there's some exploding frogs, and there's more of those in the German site for some reason. I appreciate all of the good attempts at graphics from these two papers. The next graphic I'm going to show you isn't really successful.
What are you doing?
But it is so funny. Don't scroll yet. Before you go.
Here, let me drink more alcohol.
Yeah, you take a big gulp and swallow thoroughly.
Gross, Megan. Oh,
I just meant I didn't want you to spit it out onto your microphone. You swallowed, and I'm proud of you. Okay, so if you were going to try and cross-correlate, basically they wanted to make a graphic where they were like, okay, so we're seeing preservation of skin in the same area where we see bacteria biofilms. So we think that these bacteria biofilms and skin are probably correlated, and they're probably like together. How would you illustrate the idea of two things being related?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where you want me to go with this.
I mean, I was thinking a scatter plot.
I would show them hanging. I was thinking like a little cartoon with one is like piggybacking and like, I'm with you. And that's the bacterial film. So this is why I'm worthless at this part. So yeah, a scatter plot. That's what I said. A scatter plot.
How I would
show
do
a relationship.
But I do love what they did. So go ahead and scroll down to the next one.
It's the topographic complexity of a frog. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so the first image on the left is a frog outline and skeleton spread eagle. Ready. And then B and C are literally like topographic highs and lows. Or whatever the fuck they're trying to express, but it looks like they've taken this frog and made it a mountain range.
They've made a mountain range out of a frog. Yeah, so they have conflated two different forms of pre-attentive attribute, which are the things that you use for coding your data that draw your eye. I guess pre-attentive really means that you're drawing your eye to that first. But they could have just used color, and I want to just point that out real fast. Could have just taken their spread eagle frog and done like a color map, a heat map, where you have a different color, where you have a lot of specimens that have that.
Oh, I see.
But they decided to
your
add...
Your explanation makes more sense, because this looks fucking weird.
But they decided to add a vertical aspect to it to make it a 3-dimensional plot. And yeah, it does just look like... fat spread-eagled frogs.
They look
with like a real
that are
strong
islands.
Heart. Yeah.
Yeah, that are islands without any hands. No hands. No hand island.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, but I get it. Right. Like there's way fewer hands and feet preserved, so those areas are lower. Whereas the shoulder girdle / like middest part of the rib cage seems to be the most prone to, which is the most center part. Yeah.
And it's for skin and biofilms, right? So the one on the top is skin.
Ew.
And the one on the bottom is bacterial biofilms. And the fact that they both show the same general shape is suggestive that they are correlated. But again, you can just do a scatter plot. That is a scatter plot you can do.
Yeah, that's true.
Wouldn't be as funny as this.
But you don't want to go to Frog Island. Next season of Survivor, everybody. Fucking Frog Island.
Frog Island. I do love Frog Island.
Yeah, I mean, it's creative, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, okay, let me go back to my notes really fast and stop staring at this. Okay, so we've got some exploded frogs. We've got some bloat and float and disarticulated frogs. We've got several layers where you have a lot of frogs. Sometimes you get just one or two. You've got lots of them are terrestrial frogs, so they're coming back to the water to breed. So basically, they've kind of come to the idea that these animals were breeding. And this is where we're going to get a little bit sadder. Because as it turns out...
Oh, because this has been so uplifting. I guess the island frog is pretty uplifted, but everything else has been...
The island frog had some really not stable state. That is very much uplifting.
Yep. Yeah. And pretty, like, with those vertical anyway.
Yeah. Strong heart. So they've discarded all of these ideas, but as you pointed out, how do frogs die while mating?
Right. I mean, of a broken heart.
Of a broken
rejection.
heart, obviously. Yeah, these are all sad.
No, because the hearts are all preserved.
That's
the hearts
true.
are like in one piece. They didn't explode. Heart didn't explode.
Yeah, no heart
Well, maybe
exploding.
it did, actually. Maybe it did. Something exploded.
So remember that these are external fertilizers, backpack and plexus, male on top of female.
They're drowning?
Yeah.
Like they're, oh my God, that is not consensual play, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you got to talk about it before you. Oh, wait, but that's really not.
I know.
That doesn't make any
at first I was like,
sense.
oh, fuck, this isn't going to be funny at all. This is just going to lead to us
drowning
being like,
isn't funny.
These are all drowned female frogs. That's fucked up.
Oh, because what we talk about all the time is so appropriate and funny.
So there's some sexism involved in this conversation. Shocking. I know. So the way that these fossil papers present it is always the females are predominantly the ones that are being drowned and they're the ones being exhausted. These sorts of frogs that are explosive breeders do have a high mortality rate where you do have quite a lot of frogs die. It's not just the females and it's not just from drowning. It's drowning plus exhaustion. They fuck themselves to death.
It's not always drowning, guys. Sometimes you don't have enough Gatorade.
The paper that I found after that is a paper on modern frogs that do this, that are explosive breeders. Oh, and they're actually one of the frogs that was used as a comparison in one of these papers, the Libra frog paper. I don't think it's actually Libra, whatever, the Spain. They have this very funny set of sentences where they wanted to figure out what position frogs can articulate themselves in without being broken. So they just took, and it sounds like they took one frog and they could just kind of gently stretched it. But it's cute because they say very clearly that, well, it's possible that we're not fully capturing the range of motion because we only articulated it until the animal showed signs of discomfort and then we stopped. Like, oh. But then they don't acknowledge the frog in their acknowledgements. So I think that's still kind of fucked up. And there's no name? You didn't name your frog? Name your frog that you're stretching and giving chiropractic to.
Gonzo, obviously.
Yes.
But, whatever.
Anyways, this modern species of frog is an explosive breeder that lives in Europe, and it does have a pretty high mortality rate. It is higher slightly for females than it is for males. But this paper, which was published in 2023, is such a great example of politely wording your irritation with misogyny. So the paper's called Drop Dead, Female Mate Avoidance in an Explosively Breeding Frog. And they basically point out multiple times that they're like recent papers have been, and they are citing these two papers, have often commented on female mortality as if the females are completely helpless and overwhelmed by males and just do nothing but passively die. And we have known for 250 years that's not true.
Ew, it's just what they want the female frogs to do, which is so weird.
It's so weird.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So our observations, so they basically went out and observed a whole bunch of frogs fucking, and we're like, all of the things we're talking about have been recorded. All of these things have been known, but here we put it on a video camera so you can see it. So our observations show that females in explosive breeding frogs may not be as passive and helpless as previously thought. We observed 3 female avoidance behaviors, namely 1, rotation, release calls, or get the fuck off of me calls, and tonic immobility, or faking their own death.
You heard it here first,
You heard it here first.
It's a reasonable...
Yes.
It's supported in nature.
Yeah.
Fake your own death.
Yeah, so they point out that, like, these recent literatures, including comprehensive reviews, state that females are passive during courtship and reproductive behavior attributed to sexual coercion. However, there's published evidence from more than 250 years ago. More than 250 years ago, this other person reported that females produce these grunting sounds that are like male release calls. Because when you have these explosive breeders, if a male latches on to another male, the male on the bottom says, nope, Nope, it's not me. Nope, get off.
Wrong.
Nope, get off.
Wrong. Yeah.
And apparently a whole bunch of researchers, even though we knew this 250 years ago, we just forgot, just seem to have ignored the fact that females also do that if they are not laying eggs. Because it doesn't seem like the females are really picking males, because how do you pick one when you got...
What's the point?
Yeah.
When there's jizz in the hot tub.
There's jizz in the hot tub. You could probably just get fertilized eggs just from being there. So there's no real point. But they will let out release calls because it's not helpful for them or for the male. Like, it's a good thing to pay attention to those release calls, because there is no, like, female choice. They're not, like, saying, I don't like you. They're saying, I already did this. I'm done. Yeah. I'm tapped out. This is external fertilization.
Doing this for you, too.
Go externally fertilize someone else.
Yeah, why do they even have to piggyback at all? Why can't they all just, like, swim next to each other? Like, because it's not...
Well, if you're closer, you're more likely to be the parent, right? Yeah. Yes. Because the primary cause of drowning, like they also do all just get exhausted, as one would. But the primary cause of drowning usually comes when you have mating balls form of these frogs, where you've got multiple males trying to compete for the female that's underneath. So the other method, if their get the fuck off me call doesn't work, or if they can basically tell that there's more than one on them, the females will do rotation and they'll spin around like a little bucking frog bronco.
Oh my God. Sure. Yeah. And spin them all off with some
spin them all off.
Centrifugal force.
And one of the suggestions in this paper was that there's some thought that might also be a good way of picking a mate, technically, because whoever remains on the rodeo ride, not only are they potentially stronger, but they're also potentially good at kicking off other mates if the other mates, so they won't drown, right? If they do a little rodeo and if they only had one frog on them and that frog stays on, well, that's a frog that could kick off other frogs and keep them from drowning.
Oh my God. Best in show. Yeah. So you get the reward.
Yeah. Although they do think probably more realistically, it's just they're rotating because they've already bred. So they're not that interested.
So this is like I think I already know where this answer is, but can you sex a frog skeleton? Like, can we look at the fossil frogs and tell which ones are male and female?
It does not seem so, because they did not do that. So I would guess not.
Right, because that seems to be, if you have no control, it's really hard to be able to say which, you could also say that if she's doing this rotation, that some of these dudes are like flung off and they die. I don't know. Yeah. Drown that way.
Maybe they rode the wrong fucking bucking frog bronco and they got killed.
Right, because can a female release more than one clutch of eggs, or is it just like one? Because, does it make sense? Like, if she lays one batch of eggs and then dies, it's like no biggie? Or is it? I mean,
they do come back year after year. So, they can live multiple years. So, that would be a biggie. It would cut off. I don't know if they lay more than one set in a given setting, in a given year, But
it's not like salmon, where it's like, they all die because they all do their little last final dance.
Right. It's not like salmon.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So it's not like, whatever. Of course they're all female, because females, there's no point. They reproduce once, but that's not what it's.
And so what they also found is that older, bigger females were more likely to perform release calls, the buck and bronco move, and fake their own deaths. And so they think that there is some level of experience that also can counteract the drowning effect. But they did find that smaller females were actually more likely to be successful with the bucking bronco move because they could squiggle their way out. So, the bigger females were more likely to do all of these things, but the smaller females were more likely to fling off their partner.
Be successful. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. The social commentary.
How long do you think that these frogs were feigning their own death for?
What do you mean? Like minutes? Like that?
So they hold still, right? And they just don't move. To the extent where some of them Superman arms out, and just seem like they look pretty dead. How long?
Maybe 6 or 7 seconds.
2 hours. I guess they said
2 hours?
They said at least one of them went for 2 hours. Yeah.
2 hours of having to play. I thought the males would be like, this one's dead. Moving on.
I mean,
really quickly.
This is the last paper I read before we met, so it's possible that they went into more detail as to why, but it sounded like maybe it was one that was just like, ugh. But I'm wondering if it's also kind of like possums where they're like passing out.
Got to be dedicated.
Got to be dedicated to the role. I don't know how good of an actor a frog is. So. Yeah.
Yep. Jeez. Wow. No idea.
So anyways, these dead frogs, they can't figure out any other reason that they would have died. So let alone in groups. So they're attributing that to mating. But even though females are slightly more likely to die during these mass mortality events, that doesn't necessarily mean that these are all dead, drowned women. Because it turns out that female frogs do have quite a few ways of knocking their partner off and getting them to let go.
Right.
Yeah, including faking their own death.
And if I'm going down, I'm taking at least 3 of you motherfuckers with me. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm nope. But again, well, just in terms of all these things, I just don't think it would make a ton of sense if it was like highly selecting one sex or the other, because I just have a hard time evolutionarily understanding what would be like, and then kill the majority of the next individuals for the next generation. And so I think it's got to be more, I would think it's actually more evenly distributed amongst the sexes, and it's more about these exhaustions. And come on, guys, just got to do some stretching, carbo load. Like, come on. Yeah. You can get there.
And remember, mating balls don't just kill the female. They kill the males that couldn't get out either. So,
right. Right.
Yeah.
So and thanks for fossilizing. It's disgusting. So gross. I loved it. Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced, honestly, by these mating arguments. Yeah. Like, maybe they're mating, but they point out that, like, in the German one, they're like, well, algal blooms have been, like, suggested, but all of the diatoms, like the diatomictite, so, like, the hey, there definitely was an algal bloom rock, they can't directly correlate because they, they did fucking frog peels. I'm like, well... Right, like, these are, right, the scale that you would need for that.
Don't necessarily leave diatomictite. Like, algal blooms can be very toxic and not cause a rock layer. So I don't know that you've actually successfully gotten rid of that. And if your thought is, oh, well, why can't they get out of the water? Well, you just told me that they're a little distracted. They're mating. And if they can't get out of the water to avoid drowning, why are they going to be able to get out of the water to avoid dying from toxins? And you can also have diseased frogs that fuck and die as well. So, it's possible that these are mass mating mortality events, but I don't know that that's the only possible conclusion. And I didn't feel perfectly convinced that they eradicated all of the others. It's not like the turtles. Right. The turtles are, but all of these frogs
actually, but they don't have
separate.
To touch. So, right.
Yeah.
It would be the mass. I had something clever to say and now it's totally gone. So there we go. That seems to be fitting for this. Oh, wait, I have a question. Mm-hmm. What about eggs? Do we find fossil eggs? And if it was just like, if there was like some mass event of some nature, would there be, and it took them all down with the ship, wouldn't you seem to find eggs with them too? I mean, but I think that's a good call. Frog eggs, so they're really hard to preserve.
Yeah,
so
neither of these
frogs
papers mention eggs. The one that talks about tadpoles removed them from their study because they were like, we're only looking at frogs. But like, do you have frogs and tadpoles in the exact same layers?
Yeah.
Why are you having so many tadpoles die? Also, are they dying in mass mortality events? I don't know. They don't mention eggs. I just did Control F. And they don't mention them. So.
Those frogs wish they could Control F, but apparently they cannot.
So that's fossil fucking frogs. Gross. Or at least lots of fucking frogs. They might be not fossilized while fucking, but...
Yeah, right. It would be interesting if there were some that were preserved in this backpack mode as well. Yeah. Because that you would expect that, I would think. But maybe not if they're...
I mean, I think it's not quite like... It's not quite like turtles where they have internal fertilization, so there is something locking them together. the dick.
Yeah. Right.
But with frogs, they are not locked together. They are two slimy creatures holding on to one another. So if they die, it's going to take a lot to pancake them on top of one another.
And you've already said it's essentially not this rapid burial because some of them are showing these levels of disarticulation. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't suspect the backpack position to last for all of the reasons thus described.
I will say I was a little irritated by all of the like news stories because they're all calling it like a sex death trap. They're all calling it a mass mating going wrong. And I'm like, well, it's not a sex death trap. You just said that this is one of the most common ways that frogs die. Like, this is just frogs. Die post-sex. Like, it sounds like it's actually
frogs do.
Kind of pretty standard for frogs. So I don't know that making it the lake's fault is very accurate, is it?
I know, but it would be. It's just frogs caught in regular act of weird, freaky doing it is so outrageous by lake standards.
Proving they can die after fucking now and in the past.
Better after fucking than before fucking, frogs.
See, this is why exploding frog stomachs would have been better to talk about in all of these papers.
That's, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And for some folks, both in the same article.
Oh my God, we just talked about that for 50 minutes.
Duh.
That's all for this episode. If you like the podcast, be sure to rate and review us on your listening platform of choice. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to hear more and support the show, you should consider following us on Patreon. Not only do you get exclusive content and early episode access, you also support our scientific research, our wonderful editor, Max Scott, and you pay for things like our awesome new theme song from Joaquin Herreros. Thank you for listening.
I can't wait.
Sexually. Yeah.
For all those frogs. Gotta kiss them all.
So many froggies.
So many princes.
So